Hi everybody, it's Kate hosting her podcast, Put Down the Mascara. And I just want to ask, how are you doing living unapologetically and authentically you? Let us know. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hi, I'm Kate. I am the host of Put Down the Mascara and really excited to be here today. We are here with Sharon and Betty. And when we met, we had a really amazing conversation. It was really dynamic, and it was about women having financial empowerment.
Yes.
And being part of the decision-making. Knowledge is power. So we are joined by these two lovely ladies who are with SB Group Private Wealth. And so talk to us a little bit about why this is so important and why it's a passion of yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we have spent a long time in this business, over 20 years, and particularly during the pandemic, like many people did, we took some time to reflect on our careers. We both had careers that we're very grateful for, but we noticed that there was a gap consistently around how women were being engaged in the conversation about money, and we had a passion about that, a real passion to be able to change and drive women to be able to be more competent and confident.
And everybody should be invited to that table. And, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about how far we've come as women, and I would argue that we haven't. And so by involving women and bringing them to the important conversation, we are really advancing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And this isn't to the exclusion of anyone. We're
just
bringing women to the table.
Right.
So we just try to talk to women about what's important and why they should be involved in their wealth and in their finances.
So important. So important. And so tell us three things or a few things that you think we as women should know.
Right.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things is make sure you're working with someone that you trust and that you can feel connected to and especially vulnerable with. Money's very personal, it's very emotional, and we grew up with a lot of money biases, and you need to be able to have difficult conversations and very happy conversations sometimes.
Right.
Life is full of all of those things, and you should be able to work with someone who can bring that to the table, or you're comfortable going to the table with that.
And how will you know if you're comfortable with somebody?
It's just like the connection we have here. So, ours is a long-term relationship, and we want to be together for,
Well, you're with people through important life cycles.
Absolutely.
And important events in their life, decision making.
Exactly.
So you're building your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And, as Betty said, and to answer your question, like, how do you know? We get to know the person first before we start asking questions about their money.
Because that's who matters.
That's what matters. It's who you are, not what you have.
Yeah.
And that's what makes us different. And I think that's what our unique value proposition is in this business, is that we care about the person, and then we talk about how the money flows into what that person cares about and what their goals are.
Right.
It is. It's really understanding everybody's unique circumstances. The traditional financial planning model isn't. It's not.
Reflective of today's families, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not linear. Life isn't linear. We always say that. Life's not linear. Families aren't linear anymore. There's, blended families, women who decide to not have not have children, same-sex couples.
Exactly.
People, especially women, are often single by choice or circumstance.
Right.
And that impacts their need to know what's going on with their money and their finances.
Exactly.
And I also think you bring up a really interesting point about blended families or being single. I think that those are two very different decision-making processes that you would go through, but those are really, really important, that blended family, that you're making the right decisions. So if you want to talk a little bit more about what women should know about that, and then also what women who are single should know.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we talk about a lot is being empowered and having the confidence to make financial decisions when you want to change your job, when you want to change your career, when you want to leave a relationship that is not serving you or getting into a new one. So being involved in your wealth and understanding your finances helps in that decision making, and maybe it means you're doing it 2 years earlier than you thought it was possible.
And it's funny, we talked about this yesterday. We as women in particular foster so many relationships in our lives and help those relationships grow and
cultivate them.
Exactly, but we sometimes don't cultivate our relationship with money. And we want to help women do that.
Yes.
We want to help women have a good, positive relationship with money.
Yes.
Yeah, we need it to stop being so taboo. And I think especially with women, we shy away from saying we want wealth, we have wealth, we want to grow wealth. And we want to make sure that conversation is starting to happen, especially, in all generations of women.
And I think too, when you talk about, it's so important to have a handle on things, but money isn't also the end all and be all. And by having deep conversations, those are things that you can really figure out what matters to people.
Right.
It's all part of the getting to know and making decisions, because it's not all about how much you have. Maybe you want to make some decisions that affect your life, and that's part of the process you can be part of.
Yeah, if you ask our clients, we talk about this, is we can save, but what are we saving for?
That's
What
right.
is that money going to do for you? What is the purpose of that? And long gone is the retirement. You saved until retirement, you got on your front porch in your rocking chair, and that was the end of it. Retirement is very dynamic, and often it just means reinventing yourself.
Exactly.
So we try to align our advice to make sure that you're reaching your goals and your dreams, not your 7% or whatever it is that's in your head.
And I think I would like to call it active retirement. So
Absolutely.
I think
That's a great way to say
people
it.
have things that they need to retire to.
That's
and
right.
that could be a side business they want to invest in, or maybe that's spending time at a cottage.
Right.
Can look really different for every person, which is why you need to have that really valuable relationship.
That's right.
Exactly. And it means to the end. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, we really feel that, and you said it at the outset, we really feel that when women have the knowledge, they can make different decisions. So it creates a sense of freedom. We often
Yes.
think of money as security, and it is. But when
course
you
it is.
really have a handle on your money and what you intend to do with it, you now have freedom. And freedom is a beautiful thing.
It really is. Freedom 55, is that still a thing?
It's up there somewhere, but it's
We'll
the
let you
freedom
know.
of choice. It's the freedom of choice, and it really
It is,
does
yeah.
make a difference.
And I guess that's extremely important for women who are single as well. So if you start talking about a blended family, they're making decisions together, and there could potentially be two incomes.
Yep.
And now you start dealing with somebody who is single, and what an awesome decision they've made for that to be their situation. So how do they get empowered?
Well, it's funny that you say that, because there is a statistic out there that regardless of your personal circumstances, 90% of women will be in control of the money at some point in their lives. So whether that's you're caring for elderly parents, you're having to make decisions for yourself or someone, and you need to have that knowledge before that happens.
Right.
And often these life events, whether for women or anyone, but these life events can be very overwhelming.
Yes.
So we often share, I mean, I've been divorced
Yes.
for 10 years, and I've been in this business for over 20. And even with all the knowledge and experience and expertise I had, it's still a very financially overwhelming situation.
Yes.
And so you need to be able to, it goes back to what Betty said at the beginning about being able to be vulnerable and comfortable with somebody. When you're going through those major life changes, you want to make sure that the person you're with understands, has that life experiences, behind them, and can help you through that. And it's not just, one-dimensional, right? They want to take all of those pieces into account for you as
It's
a
not
person
by the
in a life.
book.
That's
Yeah.
Right? There is no playbook for that.
That's
You
right.
want to align with the person's core values.
Yes.
And we say that a lot because we want to be the person who you pick up the phone and call when your children graduate, or you've decided that your marriage is now, or your relationship's no longer going to be there. We want to be the one who you can call in good times and bad, and you have to be able to be comfortable and connected to be able to do that.
Yeah, and really important work that you're doing. Anything else that you think our viewers need to know about having that knowledge?
I don't know, we've so much, because we talk about this all the time, we're
Yeah.
passionate about it, but I think the big thing is, it's never too late to get involved.
Yes.
And I think as women, we often think, oh, I should know that, or I am comparing myself to someone else.
Yes.
Just call. Like, it's never too late to
Yeah.
get involved and to start
Just
that
do it.
journey. Just do it. Yeah,
Just
there we
do
go.
it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Get rid of all those biases
Yes.
about what you think you should have, and just start.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
This
you for
has been
having us.
amazing.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for the wonderful work you do, because you're,
Absolutely.
it's such a great cause, and so, yeah.
Thank you. And that's today's episode of Put Down the Mascara. Before we sign off, I want to drop a friendly reminder your way. While we do our best to bring you helpful insights, stories, and perspectives on this podcast, I want to make it clear that we're not here to replace counselors, advisors, and experts. Remember, education and empowerment are journeys we embark on together, and seeking guidance from experts along the way is great for your personal growth. Thanks again for tuning in to Put Down the Mascara. We can't wait to have you back next time. Your feedback, stories, and suggestions keep us going and fuel our passion for empowering women everywhere.